More on radio. I'm Jeff Stein with today's Iowa Politics Report. Where do you listen to KXEL or the radio generally? Lots of folks have traditionally listened while in the car. In fact, in bigger cities during COVID, many radio stations lost ratings and listeners because those folks were working from home with no commute time that they would have spent listening to the radio. Now, for these purposes, when I say radio, I really mean radio, as opposed to talk or music coming from streaming audio services, websites, and the like. A new study shows that among American adults, those aged 18 and older, 88% listen to AM or FM radio while in the car, with only 12% listening to streaming audio. Given how easy it is these days to plug smartphones and other devices into your car speakers, many analysts figured that number of streamers would have been higher. Even outside the car, radio still dominates. 64% of those surveyed listen to AM/FM radio outside the car. Roughly half that number, 36%, listen to streaming audio. Now, obviously, I'm biased because I work in radio, and without you listening, well, there's really no point to any of it. But in a broader public policy context, we've been telling you for a few months that manufacturers of electric vehicles, or EVs, they're trying to get away without having AM radios in those vehicles. There are some issues with electrical static, so instead of putting in the necessary filters, they're just going to get rid of the radio. Earlier this month, Ford disclosed it was looking to phase out AM radio in all vehicles as well. Now, you could chalk this up to AM being the old school form of radio and that FM is much more popular these days. But think a little more deeply, if you would. What is the most dominant form of programming on AM radio? It's spoken word or talk radio. And what is the most dominant form of talk programming? From a political standpoint, it's programming with a conservative viewpoint. So, is it purely coincidence that there's a move on multiple fronts to get rid of AM radios in the car, when AM is the way many conservative citizens hear about issues, and when so many citizens still rely on radio in the car, as this new survey shows? I'll let you connect the dots. And that's the Iowa Politics Report for Friday, March 24 on Twitter, Instagram, Getter, Parler, and Truth Social at Iowa Politics. I'm Jeff Stein on News Talk 1540 KXEL.